Join me and the ADV family on a 3-day adventure from the Southern Highlands to Moruya and back. The plan was to take the back roads from the Southern Highlands down to Lake Conjola, where we would join up with the Princess Highway. It was all going really well until the track ended.
Let me just get out of the way.
With only one other option, which could be a bit sketchy, we decided to have a bite to eat and to turn around and backtrack and joining up with the Princess Highway further north than planned. Towards Milton, where we decided to have a little break before we continued south on the back roads towards Moruya. We continued on Woodstock Road, which turns into Woodburn Road, which turns into Brooman Road. We then did a detour via Carisbrook Road and Clyde Ridge Road to avoid having to cross the Clyde River at Shallow Crossing, which is affected by the tide and may contain saltwater. We were running out of daylight and were starting to wonder whether or not we would make it to Moruya before dark. We arrived as the sun was setting, with enough time for a refreshing swim before heading to the pub.
It's a video.
There seems to be some disagreement with regards to whose chips is whose. On day 2, we headed south and then west to check out some tracks and Bendethra campground with a quick stop at a lookout on the way.
I can see the ocean.
Yeah, I know, amazing.
There's
eh?
the guy who's doing the bonfire.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Where?
over there.
After a stop at the lookout, we continued on some tracks that ended up being pretty fun and with amazing views. group of riders, and it turned out that the track we were planning to take on the way back was closed.
Oh, Sugarloaf.
That is Sugar.
Oh, that way. Oh, sorry, not that way. That way. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we'll be going back that way then. We were contemplating maybe going down the Araloon Road that way. But
Oh, that's really steep.
yeah, that was. That's
Quite a way with a passenger.
yeah.
As we kept on heading downhill, it was inevitable that sooner or later we would come to a water crossing. At least we were nearly at the campground where we're going to stop and have lunch. After a couple of water crossings, it was definitely nice to sit down and have a break. Water crossings are something I'm not particularly good at, but we got there in the end. Having gotten through the 2 water crossings sort of successfully, we headed back to Moruya. To where the road was closed and not being able to join up with Araloon Road, we ended up going back to Moruya the same way we got in that morning. The kids were pretty tired by the time we got back to Moruya, but we had to make one last stop to get some essentials for beer o'clock. And that's when it happened, in the car park. My bike fell over and 3 guys ran over to assist getting the bike back onto its wheels. Pretty embarrassed, we quickly escaped the crime scene and headed back to the accommodation to enjoy the rest of the afternoon by the pool. So that is the pre-filter.
Oh yeah. Really?
come over and have a look at the actual filter.
Spotless.
Amazing, isn't it?
Pretty dusty around it.
Yeah. That's right. It's fantastic. Yeah. We'll wash this and put it back on.
Day 3, and it's time to head back to the Southern Highlands. We had planned to take the back roads from Moruya and join up at the Clyde River north of Bateman's Bay, where we went on the way down. The track was becoming more and more challenging the further in we got, and we eventually made a decision to stop and turn around and go home via Braidwood instead.
We're going to go up and there's us going that way.
We knew there was rain coming, so it became a bit of a race to try to beat the weather on the way home. copped a little bit of rain, so when the sun came out, we decided it was time to stop and have lunch. Hey Emily, what you got?
I'm just looking for some 4-leaf clovers. I found lots.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Where were the others? There were 9. Oh, 7.
Look. Show us.
Here.
Wow.
8.
That is a lot of 4-leaf clovers.
And there's one more.
After collecting 10 4-leaf clovers, we headed back to the Southern Highlands. Although the trip didn't go completely as planned, it was a well-spent long weekend with plenty of fresh air and away from screens.